days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And though these are days of great trial, of famine and darkness and sorrow, still we are the voice in the desert crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, hey, riding on the cloud, yes, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. Yeah, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. These are the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones becoming.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless the name, Jesus. Someone bless him before your heart. Holy name, holy name. I will bless the Lord, and I will bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, and all that is within me. Praise His sons and daughters, I will bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, and all that is within me. Holy, let the redeemed cry out, I will bless the Lord. I will bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His name. Bless the Lord, and I will bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, and all that is within me. Praise His I will bless the Lord, let the redeemed say, I will bless the Lord. Oh, my soul, and all that is within me. We will bless the Lord forevermore. Somebody bless the Lord. Holy, holy name. One more time, I will bless the Lord, and I will bless the Lord. My soul, and all that is within me. Praise His Youth are grateful for this opportunity to be able to stand before you and encourage you in in your journey through this period in your lives. Whamalot ke siasi do ngā whawha Maria o nio. O lere mai pe he ki ngā aue hange pe koe e lere mai me moata o mō te whok mai pe te mō lotu wa mo siasi wa mō kōkato e ngā mōre whamini. Very grateful youth. Your youth leader sort of gave me the opportunity last night, so I was working out where should I start. The grace of God is huge. So yeah, if I could, I'd probably be standing here for about 2 hours if I was to talk about the work of God in my life. But this morning, thinking about what to speak and what to encourage you young people, I couldn't turn my mind away from my journey with the Lord when in the last couple of years. Now, I'll give you a bit of a brief background into my life. I sort of grew up in Melbourne, as you all know. Played rugby, thought I was going to be the next star, up and coming, rugby star. Then continued playing rugby. Then got to Canberra. I picked up by a club in Canberra to play with them. I played with them, and then years go on, and then you know that your age is getting the better of you. But you continue to bash at that brick wall, which just never goes away. And then Lord opens up the door for me to then study, took on law for one crazy reason. I just decided to study law, and then it all went really quickly, and then admitted to become a solicitor, a lawyer in the ACT, and practice in Australia. So very grateful for what the Lord has done for me, and I can't turn my mind away from that journey in my life. And I think it's important that I stand before you and share with you the sort of guidance and the sort of faithfulness that the Lord showed me through my journey. I thought I should use I'm a big fan of Michael Youssef, Dr. Michael Youssef, who's an evangelist all across around the world, and he's got some great ministry, and I listen to a lot of his sermons. But one particular sermon he's preached on is the life of Elijah, the prophet. Now, you all know about the story. It's in the Old Testament. Otherwise, it's in 1 Kings 17. But if you turn your Bibles to 1 Kings 17, and the passage which inspires my journey is in 1 Kings 17. If you can just turn to that passage. And then it's verse 5. So he, who is Elijah, went and did according to the word of the Lord. For he went and stayed by the brook Cherith, which flows into the Jordan. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evenings. And he drank from the brook. And it happened after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. I guess I'm inspired by the life of Elijah because the Lord has many plans for our lives. Now, you're all here today as young people. You're probably in your teens, going on to your 20s, then sooner or later you go into your 30s, you make some big decisions. But I like the word I like the story of Elijah, because the Lord planned Elijah's life and his everyday journey throughout this tough time throughout the famine. I share that. I mean, when I refer to my own life, I grew up, and I was the oldest of 5 children, and I always wanted success because I felt that the family had sort of expectations for me to provide miracles. And not that I could, but I felt like that. You do as the eldest in the family, and they sort of have expectations that you're going to come out and provide everything there is. But I knew this expectation of me, but I then started to reflect on everyday success after I finished playing footy, and then I decided to study. I took that decision because I went home one day, and my mother, who's got some problems with her knee, I was a bit down, and I thought, well, okay, those years in the factory, it's sort of had an impact on her life, and I thought, what am I going to do to provide for the family? So then I decided to go away, and I studied and got into law. But the journey from that day on was always thinking about the great thing that the Lord had done for me and my family, and moving forward from there, always rejoicing in every little accomplishment. Not to be boastful, but to rejoice and to appreciate that every opportunity that is provided is not because of our good works, but it's because the Lord has His will in our life. I think that's very important for your lives. Walking in the Lord and knowing and always asking the Lord in prayer what is His will for your life. I think that's the biggest questions we all face is, well, what is the will of the Lord in our life? I mean, we're young. I was young, but I didn't know. But you guys now have the opportunity to seek that from the Lord, and it doesn't stop. You get to my age, then you continue to do so because you're faced with challenges in life where you've got to ask the Lord. But we can rest assured that if he's able to provide for Elijah through the bird on a daily basis, He's there to provide for you and I. As I said, when I started studying and progressed, I knew that I felt this is what God wanted me to do. And because I could study all night, I could study all weekend, I could do everything, I live that life. I even moved my house close to the university because I just felt that I think this is what the Lord wanted me to do. And I encourage you guys to seek what the Lord wants from each and every one of you. If there is, you're probably working, you're probably studying, you're probably wondering where your future lies. You don't know, but the Lord does. And if you take every day in faith and in talking to the Lord about where He sees your life, doors will open up. I've been very blessed. I've been a lawyer now for 3 years, going on to 3 years. And when I first started in the industry, a lot of people thought I was a security guard. I was walking to the court and people go, "Oh, you're a bouncer around here." I said, "No." But these sort of things. I mean, that's the sort of stereotypes that the Balangs have on us islanders. But I'm very blessed. I started out with a firm, and it was hard to get a job, but I got a job. I didn't even have to interview. I spoke to the Lord. I said, "Lord, I've got a young family. Are you going to give me a job, or where do you see my journey in this career?" And I met this guy who was in a cafe, and he owns a firm. And he turned around and he said, "You're the new lawyer in the court. Do you want a job?" And I said to him, "Yeah, all right, give me a job." And then he said, "Come and see me on the following Wednesday." So I went to see him, and he said, "When can you start?" And I started straight away, and I said, I was very thankful because I talked to the Lord for about, June, July, for about a month. I knocked on every day I'd be walking around work. "Lord, can you, where do you take me in this career? What sort of work am I supposed to do? I've got a young family to raise. We need money. I need to provide as a father." And August the 19th, from June to July to August, I started a new job without an interview. I then went on from there for about a year, and I kept knocking on the door. I kept asking the Lord, Lord, is this the industry you want me to be in? Is this the firm where I will retire from? I journeyed through 2013 to 14, seeking what the Lord wants me to do. And in 2015 of this year, in May, the Lord gave me this vision. Go and speak to this person who owns this firm. He will give you a job. So I lost my son in December. Emily and I lost our son in December, and I was quite distraught. But I had faith in the Lord, and I said to the Lord, Lord, your will, not ours. We're just keepers. But from January to May, I asked the Lord whether this is the job for me, whether is this the work that I'm supposed to do. And in May of this year, He gave me. I was sitting in my office, and no word of a lie, I was sitting in my office, and He said to me, go and speak to, his name's David Butler. Go and speak to David Butler. David Butler's going to help you out with a new position, better pay, better condition, more time with your family. I went and spoke to David Butler, this guy who owns a part owned in a firm in Canberra. I spoke to him, and he said, "Yeah, no worries. I'll talk to my partner, who will then give you a job." And then from there, I went to see her, and she said, "When can you start?" Again, I didn't have to interview. They didn't even have to look at the bad marks I got at uni. So I guess the moral of my story is don't stop knocking on the door, because you don't know where tomorrow lies. You don't know what the Lord has planned for you. I thought I couldn't, I remember those days where I thought, oh, maybe one day I'll be a star, at rugby, and you just know you're not going to make it, but you keep thinking you will. But when I stand today, and when I look back at what I was thinking at the time, I sort of think to myself, oh, see how funny things work out, because otherwise, who knows where life would have taken me. I probably wouldn't be standing here today if I was to go down a path I chose on my own. But as the moral of my story is, kids, you guys are still young, so don't stop knocking on the door. If you dream to be something, ask the Lord, because the Lord will guide you. I walk around work, and there's a lot of guys I see that was at uni with me, and they got better marks than me. They still don't have a job. So that goes to show you that, all right, if we're supposed to be intelligent, and your intellectual should open the door for work, why is it not happening for those, but it's happening for me, who got a lesser mark than them? So that's the sort of motivation I draw on my journey with the Lord, and I hope that you will find that leaving today, and as we depart, that you will find that motivation to seek what the Lord has installed in your life. Before I finish, I think the last story I have is I just want to share a little bit about what I do, and because I think it's good for you guys who are here and you're young. Now, I'm here in Sydney because I'm representing two young university students who are currently locked up in the Park Lee Remand Centre, jail, correction centre. Now, these two young kids, their parents are very well off. They've got a lot of money. And these two young kids decided it was a cool thing to go to the snow, because they had a passion for the snow, to ski and snowboarding, and started dealing cocaine. And then in August of this year, second week of August, the two young kids were set up by police, where police went in and caught them with $190,000 worth of cocaine. And these two young kids didn't know the result of their action. I got a call on the Friday morning saying, "Can you go and see these two young kids in court? They're facing some serious charges." I went to the police. I got the statement of facts and the charges, and they're facing a life imprisonment because of what they've done. Now, you all have heard of the problem with the drug ice in the community. You've heard of the problems with depression. And these two young kids, they're aged 24, the young men, didn't think that what they were doing was going to get them in the situation that they find themselves in as we speak. So they face life imprisonment behind bars because of the choice they made. Now, what I want to leave with you guys today is that we all make a choice. The consequences of our action. Our actions has a consequence. You either make the right choice or you make the bad choice. They're sitting in jail today, and my job is to try and help them as much as they can, as I can, to ensure that they don't spend the rest of their life in jail. Now, we're very thankful because we have a time to come here, and we have good group of people, a community, to help you guys in your walk and to ensure that you guys make the right decision. Because depression, drugs, and all the bad stuff that's going on in the community has a consequence. If it doesn't get you today, it'll get you tomorrow. If it doesn't get you tomorrow, it'll get you into the future, and you pay the price. I don't want to sort of, pull anyone's confidence down, but reality is out there in the community, and when I walk into the prison, that's reality. You're very fortunate, as I said, you've got a good group of people around you, and we're very blessed because we have our faith planted in the Word of God, and our parents have guided us, and we shouldn't make the bad decisions. We should never make the bad decisions in life. So therefore, I leave you with two things. Always seek what God's will is in your life, and always make good decisions. Seek the counsel of the Lord. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much.